Yo, we checked out this game yesterday on PlayStation Network. It's like $69. I actually got paid yesterday, so I could potentially go in and buy it. Let me check something. So alright, so what we looking at right now, it seems that the game will come out next Thursday. Um or if I get the edition that I want to get, I get to play it 3 days early. Which will be on Monday the 7th. I'm looking into it. We'll see what we get. But anyway, let's get right into the video.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. After waiting years, and I mean years, there's a great chance that we're finally gonna have another good anime game. And of course, I'm talking about the latest, greatest Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. How's it going, everybody? I'm Cloud Raids, and welcome to the channel, where I talk about video games and everything surrounding them. And if you guys know anything about me, that I'm a huge anime nerd. I've made anime videos in the past talking about the video games. I even got tattoos on my body, but being so obsessed with this has only caused me pain, considering most of the video games suck. So it's safe to say that I am pretty excited for this new game to come out. Now, I have pre-ordered it, so I will get it on the 11th, but I am so excited for this game. But let's talk about it a little bit. It's been a very long time since we've had a game like this, back to the Budokai Tenkaichi days, which feels like it was forever ago. The last Budokai Tenkaichi game, which was number 3, was released all the way back in 2007, which was 17 years ago for you guys who don't know, and I bet a lot of you probably weren't even born then. But if you were, then you understand how good these games truly were, because if you're a new anime fan or you're a new anime game enjoyer, you probably just think that they've never been any good. Well, boy, you would be wrong. So Sparking Zero is the Budokai Tenkaichi 4, just with a different name. So people are hyped up for this game. This series hasn't really had a miss so far. What makes these games so good is how in-depth the roster is. You can play literally almost everybody from the Dragon Ball universe. And the way they make it seem is that it's going to be so dynamic, which I am really hopeful for, because nowadays I don't have any faith for new games. I rarely ever pre-order anything, considering how bad the market is. This could really fill the big anime hole game in my heart. And I've played a lot of anime games hoping to find a good one, from the Demon Slayer games to the JoJo's games. I'm even the biggest Tokyo Ghoul fan, and that game was pretty hot, steamy ass. But that being said, I'm still not completely 110% sure this game is going to be great. I hope it will be great, but there's definitely some things that can ruin this game for me. The things that could make this game great are obviously the depth of the characters, the amount of people that we will have on the roster, the dynamicness of each character, and it's weird I have to say it, but hopefully the servers are good too, because these games are known to have some pretty weird servers, as in really bad lag, crashes, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So really, I just hope the gameplay is smooth. The servers were a really bad problem in the JoJo's fighting game, which was really disappointing because they had so much potential, and I love JoJo's myself personally, but the lag and the clunkiness was just so unbearable. I had to refund the game, I just didn't want it anymore. But now let's talk a little bit more about what could really ruin this game for me. Something that could really put me off. The biggest thing for me would have to be the microtransactions. For some reason, these anime games are notorious for doing this. And what I mean by that exactly is you will pay for the game $60 if that's what it is. A lot of times that's what it is. And you won't be able to get all of the characters. You will have to pay for packs to unlock the characters. Now don't get me wrong, I don't expect to have all the characters up front. Make me work for them, I'm all down for that. Give me something to grind for, as long as I can get them for free. As you'll see with a lot of the other fighter games like Demon Slayer or even the JoJo's games, you will have to pay extra to get certain characters. And a lot of the times these DLC characters are just busted outright. So you'll be fighting against these people who have these dumb characters while you're just stuck with the base characters, after you've already spent $60, $40, whatever it is on the game. Which is even worse. I would rather have to pay just to get cosmetics compared to having to buy a whole character. Like, imagine you load up Call of Duty and you want to play the game and you want to use a certain weapon. Well, you can't, because you have to pay for that weapon on top of the game. Which for Call of Duty, that doesn't even sound crazy, but just imagine. That just doesn't make sense anymore. I would go to call that pay to win. I don't want no pay to win or pay to have an advantage, any type of that in the game. I don't want that in any game that I play. I hope they don't do this with this game, but seeing how devs are nowadays, I wouldn't be too surprised if it was. Another thing that would completely turn me off of this game would obviously be if the servers were just terrible. Now the first day or two, I understand it's probably gonna have a lot of people, the game might crash, but I hope they fix it because 70 bucks is not cheap. Honestly, I think I got the $100 one. I did. But paying all of this money for a game that has really bad lag spikes and lags a lot would just be extremely frustrating and a really big letdown. Because to me, that's like the bare minimum of a video game. If your servers aren't good enough to play on, why even make the game? If you build a house but the foundations aren't good, why would you even waste time building the house? It feels really stupid that I have to say this, but anime games as of recent just haven't had a good track record. Like when I bought the Tokyo Ghoul game, I was really excited. I heard bad things about it, but being a huge fanboy, I thought I was going to be able to just push my way through it and play it, but the lag was just so bad, and that wasn't even an online game. That was a single player story mode game, which I love that idea. The fighting games are cool and all, but anime is so in-depth and like it's such a good concept for games that nobody takes advantage of, but that's something for later on down the road. That game itself was sometimes so extremely laggy. This one might be a long shot, but if you consider Pokemon any type of anime, those games were laggy as hell. The new Scarlet and Violet games are just dog doo-doo. And I love myself some Pokemon. I even have them collected on my 3DS, because that seems to be the only way that I can actually enjoy them anymore. But I know Pokemon is in the gray area because nowadays it's a lot more than what it used to be. Back in my day, it was more of an anime and a card game with some dope DS games, but nowadays it seems to be all over the place. The final thing that I'm really concerned about is the smoothness, because there's been some games out there that have been really cool in concept, and the servers themselves weren't even terrible lag-wise, but the game just didn't feel very smooth. It didn't feel satisfying to play. I don't know how to say it. I know it sounds kind of weird when I talk about it, but if you've played any of these fighting games, you understand what I'm talking about. Any game that has these fighting mechanics, whether it's even an anime game itself, can sometimes feel really clunky to play. And there's nothing worse than being excited to play the game and you're not lagging or anything, and then you just go to fight and it's just like, oh, it just doesn't feel good. To me, it's like having no internet compared to slow internet. I feel like I'm being edged with the fighting a little bit, and it's just no good. It's no bueno. But I think that if Dragon Ball Sparking Zero can really get these down, they can have no microtransactions, have some decent servers so you're not getting kicked out of the games and you're not lagging a lot, and the gameplay feels smooth, then I really believe that we're gonna have a good game on our hands. I'm more afraid about the microtransactions and the pay to win prospect more than I am about anything else, just because I see it so much in all of these other games. With all that being said, I still do have a lot of hope for this game. I have a lot of faith too, just because the other Budokai Tenkaichi games were so good. So they do have a good track record when it comes to making these games, but all the other recent titles have really made me second guess almost every game that comes out. Now the gameplay for Sparking Zero looks absolutely fucking awesome. It looks so cool and it looks so dope. So visually they got it down pat. I love the way it looks, and I'm really hoping that I love the way it plays. I'll let you guys know if it's any good or not, so stick around, because I'll give you my full and truthful, honest opinion. I don't like covering for these big companies, especially when they're taking people's money. 70 bucks is definitely not cheap, and that's just if you got the base game. But if it's good, you best believe I'll let you know. But alright guys, I'm Cloud Raids, and this is my channel, and the video
not bad of a